How we doing, everybody? Charles with Mr. 38 Easy Products here, and today I want to talk to you all about some feedback that I've gotten over the past couple weeks. It seems to be increasing to new customers. Also, I want to address a few things regarding how and why these grip safeties are printed, and also what I'm doing to do the best I can to take this rough edge away, and also kind of lower the expectations of the quality on this down to a more reasonable and more accurate description and expectation. So first off, we're going to start with the filament itself and the orientation that it's printed. So with each grip safety color, the filament is different. So this isn't the same manufacturer, because no one single manufacturer makes all of the colors that I offer. Also, they're not always available from the same people. So there are some errors in the filament which cause some of these defects. Good example: all four of these were printed on the same printer with the same file. The only thing that changed was the filament. And these are actually two different spools of silver and two completely different manufacturers and filament color for the blacks. We've actually got a really good matte black now, and we have this kind of sort of satin black. And as you can see, all of them have different overall finishes. So like the layer lines on this one are very, very fine. They almost melt together and it looks like a solid piece, unless you're looking at it, you know, for more than a second, and then you can finally pick up on the layer lines. Now this black, you can see some of the layer lines, but the overall finish, I think, is a little bit better. There's a couple flaws on the ridges on the front part of that are visible. You can see that. And then the silvers. The silvers, now remember, same file, different filament. And now we've got these seams here. You can see rippling, and that's due to the color. But if you look between these two, let's see if we can get that better. You notice how the seams are in different spots, and that's due to the fact that every time I print it, the filament acts different. These printed in this orientation. So as far as the visual defects, I try to get them as best I can. If you happen to order one of these and it's got two little seams right there that are visible, there's not a lot I can do about that, other than stop offering the color. I've got a box and it is filled with defective, terrible prints, bad prints. Filament went bad, filament got water in it, had to dry it out. So I do a quality control as best I can, but there are some times when, unfortunately, the orders are coming in and I've done 5 prints and each one of them has these. I have to move on and I have to get the orders out. These are not machined parts out of aluminum. They're not injection molded. These are 3D printed. So the way the 3D printer works is it's got a head, an extruder head, that literally, just like a caulking gun, right? It squeezes out the filament, and it just drags that head around at a specific height, at a specific speed, and it builds one layer. Then it goes up 0.2 millimeters and does the next layer. So I'm running the layer lines as small as I can make them and still be reasonable as far as how long it takes to print. One of these takes about 30 minutes to print. If I half the layer line height to 0.1, I don't double my print time, I quadruple it. So, and unfortunately, and it's a good thing, with the sales that are coming in, I can't do that because I don't have 25 printers. Because that's realistically what it would take to keep up with the demand that I'm seeing right now. Which I'm thankful for, and thank you for all those who have ordered. And if you're thinking about ordering, I appreciate it. But definitely understand that regardless of what I do, these defects can be in there. The layer lines are visible, and there is one side which has to have supports on it. Because if I print it in this orientation, it will break. Without question, as soon as you grip it, as soon as the spring cup gets some pressure on it, it's going to snap right above that. Or, sorry, it'll snap right above the spring cup. So as far as strength and everything goes, the layer lines running horizontal on the part are there for strength. The downside is I've got one side that's up in the air that has to have supports. So when you start looking at the finish on these, this is a good example. So it is rough, and it needs work. So I hit it with a razor first, and if I can get away with a razor, if it's good enough quality, then what I do is I work up on sandpaper. So I run the file, I run 180, 200, 400, 600, and 800 and 1000. And that's to do my best to get them as smooth as I can. There have been some customers who have complained about the finish of it and the small imperfections. I will tell you right now, every single one of these is different because it takes me about 20 to 30 minutes to finish this out to where I will send it to you. And I do the best I can. But I can't get away from it. So when you're getting these, one side of these, normally the left side, will be the prettiest, it'll be the smoothest, it'll be the top side when it prints. And these are smooth, as you can see, and they don't have a lot of defects in them. And I did that specifically so when you have the gun in your hand, the right side of your hand is covering it. Now if you're a left-handed shooter, please tell me before and I will switch the sides. That way when you're holding it in your hand, you're not looking at the ugly side. So I'm doing the best I can, but at the end of the day, the amount of time and effort that it would take to get every single one of these perfect, I'd have to charge double because it would take up that much time, and I'd also have to extend my shipping and handling from 3 days to get it, get it printed, get it fitted, and get it out in the mail. I'd have to extend that to 5 because right now I'm still behind because it's taking even longer because of the amount of orders for the grip safeties. So I'm doing the best I can. I have another printer that's ordered, should be coming in, but I'm working with what I got. So how do these compare to a similar 3D printed part that I make? So if you have the 9mm EZ, and you've ordered one of my grip safeties and the speed loader, this is the quality that you see out of the speed loader. Now, since there's no overhangs and it's all 90-degree surfaces, flat top, flat bottom, and all that, the finish on these is a completely different thing. The top of these are super smooth, the bottom of them is flat, and overall there's very few seams on it, because with this style of print I can actually hide the Z-seam internally, because it never has any place that it has to cross over. The spring cup, the gap here, that, and it also doesn't have intersecting external walls either. It's literally as simple as you can make it. It's like a cookie cutter. All of these prints turn out great, but still it's got a couple, like this is a bad one. I wasn't going to send this out, but it's got random Z-seams that just show up, and that's due to filament. That spot got hung up, it had a little bit of debris in it, I don't know. But even my best printing filament has problems somewhere in the spool. So with the silks, they have problems just as well. This one randomly stopped extruding at the start of the print. The lettering is also not quite good because it had too much water in it. Now it works, it's functional, and I will be posting up some of these failed, not good enough prints, but I do the best I can to do quality control. Now that being said, the sizes I will cover in a separate video for y'all, which will address the size difference, the actual measurements, how big of a difference you're going to feel, if you feel any. I'll give you all the details before you order it. Please watch that video, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.